The world is a vampire sent to drain secret destroyers. Hold you up to the flames. And what do I get for my pain? Betrayed desires.
Hello there. My name is Phil Janke. Today, I will be discussing Mark Flood Ellis. No, wait. Where are you going? Please, come. Come with me. Won't you? Mark Flood Ellis is a post-punk alternative rock record producer and audio engineer. He's best well known for his cutting-edge electronic sound. You might recognize some of the bands that he's worked with, which include Depeche Mode, U2, Nine Inch Nails, Smashing Pumpkins, 30 Seconds to Mars, and even The Killers, and just so many more after that. He was born in 1960 in London, England, so he's a British producer. He was originally a vocalist and bassist in various bands growing up. His studio career began as a runner at Morgan Studios and Battery Studios in London. And then after that, he worked in other various studios, but then began freelance work in the early 1980s, about 81. He was the assistant engineer on Movement for New Order, which he did right when he was doing all that freelance work. And then after a bunch of other various studio jobs, Flood went on to Mute Records, where he was a producer slash co-producer, also an engineer. And that's where he was first introduced to the band Depeche Mode. His mainstream break actually came in 1987 with the U2's album The Joshua Tree, which actually won many, many Grammys. He worked with Brian Eno on that album, who is very renowned for his electronic noises and sounds that he worked with Mastercraft and David Bowie and all those. And what they said about the album was that it was very open and had an ambient sound with a real sense of space of the environment that they were working in. And at the time, this was a really weird request because nobody had ever heard of this kind of stuff before. And basically from this album, they realized that Flood had basically an almost flawless technique to recording. His sounds were mysterious and they seemed to be everywhere at the same time. From there, he went on to work with like Smashing Pumpkins, Nelly Hopper, PJ Harvey, and the Charlatans. Nowadays, Flood has been working with bands such as The Killers and 30 Seconds to Mars, who have also had great album success in the newest decade, in about the 2000s. And the real reason why I chose Brian Eno is I really wasn't a big fan of U2 or Depeche Mode or any of those other bands growing up. But what I really liked about it was the sound, and that's the only thing that I really just related to because I really enjoyed the ambience and how they really worked with the studio room that they were given. It almost gave it a somewhat of like a Phil Spector perspective to me, and also kind of reminded me of something Brian Wilson would do. And it really had me looking up to Flood, so I had to just go out and do as much research as I can about him, and I really learned a lot about him, and I hope you guys have too. Hope you enjoyed my scenery, and this has been my podcast for Advanced Studio Sessions. Thank you very much.